Welcome back to Programming Logic and Design. In this chapter, we're going to be exploring additional object-oriented programming issues, which is composed of the following. Event-driven programming. This supports our graphical user interfaces, our GUIs. We're going to learn some mechanisms of building such a program and the basics of designing GUIs. We'll also do a brief introduction into threads and multi-threading and creating some animation. But to understand the principles of event-driven programming, we have to look at the operating system. Most of you are familiar with Windows and some of you Linux, but this is the software used to run a computer and manage its resources. Back in the early days of computing, a command line entry was used in a DOS prompt. Interacting with a computer operating system was actually very difficult because we had to know the exact syntax when typing in our commands. Here is an example of a command prompt screen. You'll see this is our C drive and you'll just type your commands in here. You can locate the Windows operating system command prompt under the accessories from your start menu, but for newer versions, search icon is far quicker. Our modern operating system software allows the use of a mouse and other pointing devices to select icons on the screen. So what's actually happening is our interaction with the operating system is with a mouse. You were introduced to GUIs with its icons in Chapter 1. Computer users can actually expect to see a standard interface in GUI programs. Users select options from menus and click buttons to make preferences known. Now, performing an operation on an icon is called an event. You're generating a message sent to the object, which is the icon, by clicking and dragging. Here is an example of a GUI program. Paint application. Here you can see we have our menus, which are drop down. We have our buttons, which change the colors. Here are our icons. We've got the search, the dropper, the eraser. These are all our icons, which are our objects. And not to forget the slide at the bottom of the screen here, where the event we use here is we click on the mouse, hold it down, and slide the slider across back and forth. GUI programs frequently are called event-driven or event-based programs because actions occur in response to user-initiated events such as clicking a mouse button, emphasis on the objects, our icons, that the user can manipulate. Example is our text boxes, our buttons, our menus. Programmers write instructions within modules, within methods that execute each type of event. Now, procedural application is the logic developed in the textbook so far, where the programmers control the order of the programming statements, which are our steps which occur in order. It's all programmer dependent. So if the user is prompted, the programmer will wait for the input before carrying on. Now, event-driven programs, the user might initiate any number of events in any order. So this is actually more flexible than procedural counterparts. For an example, if you open up a Word document, there are multiple choices at your disposal at any moment. You can exit without saving, save without exit. You can put in a table, you can draw, you can type, you can change fonts. So many choices for you to use. Now, I must stress that the event-driven programming uses many of the same logical features as procedural. It is only the order of execution of the methods that is different. Within an event-driven program, the component from which an event is generated is the source of the event. Example, the button user clicks to cause an action. Now, an object that is interested in an event to which you want to respond is a listener. So not all objects can receive all events. Example, clicking anywhere on a screen won't necessarily make you save the program. Now, event-driven programming is relatively new, but it uses many similar techniques as procedural, as discussed previously, like sequences, selections, loops. You still have methods, declare variables, use arrays, inheritance, etc. The procedure modules that depend on the user-initiated events are called scripts. Writing event-driven programs involves thinking of possible events, writing scripts to execute actions, and writing statements that link user-initiated events to the scripts. To understand GUI programming, you need a clear view what the user can initiate. Please join me in the next video where we discuss user-initiated actions and GUI components.